All right, guys. So last time we did couple of we did couple of problems based on organic chemistry concepts such as the general formula, the molecular formula, the structural formulae, as well as the condensed formula. So now we are continuing and we are introducing the naming of organic compounds. So each and every organic compound, it has got its particular name, and there is a certain standard that we use to name organic compounds, and you guys need to learn of that standard. So I'll make sure that by the end of this session today, you guys have a clear idea on what standards do you use when you're naming organic compounds, so that when you come back, I think on Saturday, we must do a lot of practices and name multiple compounds and be able to draw their structural formula, to write their structural formula, I mean. All right, so to be able to understand naming, we are going to start with this. I gave you this as a task to research the difference between the branched and the unbranched organic compounds, as well as the concept of the parent chain. Okay, so basically, since you guys researched, I believe that you have got something to tell me. You can let me know what is a branched organic compound. What's a branched organic compound in your own opinion, or what did you find a branched organic compound to be? Yes, Orifa?
Hello, sir. Sir, it's a branched. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Sir, a branched compound is, when there's a main chain, right? A main chain is gonna be the chain that has the most carbons, the most consecutive carbons. That's like a parent chain. And then let's say in the middle somewhere there's a carbon that's attached to another carbon on top or on the bottom. That's gonna be it's a branch. Like, it's not part of the main chain. It's not part of the consecutive carbons. It's just like an additional one, like maybe on the top or the bottom or something.
Yes, Sam.
Well, so simplifying what Orefa should, I can just say it's an overlapping carbon from the main chain.
Okay, yes, cool. So you guys have got the right concept indeed. So basically, we have got unbranched organic compounds as well as the branched organic compounds. All right, so the unbranched organic compounds are the simple ones because these ones have got a single straight carbon chain. So we can say they've got a single carbon chain, or we can say that they've got a straight carbon chain. But the ones that are branched organic compounds, they've got at least one side chain. So we can illustrate that by making a couple of diagrams. So basically, let's just say now I've got a compound, an organic compound. Of course, it must have carbon. Let me just say this is my organic compound. Yes, Orifa?
Oh, sir. So can I add something else?
Yes.
Like from what I said?
Yes.
So I also learned that the branch is an alkyl group.
Yes, it's an alkyl group. Oh, awesome. That's something. But before we get there, let us start with an unbranched organic compound. All right, this is an example, and this is an alkane that is known as butane. So basically, we say that this compound is unbranched. Why do we even say that it is unbranched? It is because it has got one line of carbons, or a single series of carbons that are following each other. It's like we have got a line of carbons that are following each other, just one line of carbons that are following each other. Remember, guys, we say that organic compounds are those compounds that contain carbon, right? So basically, if we have got consecutive carbons, or if we have got carbons that are following each other in such a way that they make a straight chain, because this kind of looks like a chain, and there are bonds between these carbons, of course. So we only have got one chain of carbons that are following each other. We don't have any other carbon that is drawn outside. okay, outside of this line or outside of this chain. So basically, when our organic compound contains a single straight carbon chain, we say that it is an unbranched organic compound. Okay, this one is specifically an alkane, so this is an unbranched alkane. It's an unbranched alkane. This is an example of an organic compound which is an alkane, and it is not branched because we only have got one line of carbons that are connected with bonds. It's just one line. But now when it becomes a branched organic compound, how will it look like? We can have something like this: C, 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 right? And we can have H here, we can have H here, we can have H here, maybe we can have H here, maybe we can have H here, maybe here we can have C, then have H, then have H, then have H. Guys, ensure that each and every carbon, it is surrounded by at least 4 bonds. Okay, so each and every carbon atom, it must consist of 4 bonds surrounding it or making it up or something like that. All right, so this is also an alkane as well. This is also another alkane, but the difference now is that this one, we say that it is a branched alkane. Okay, why do we say that this alkane is branched? It is because if we try to trace the line of carbons here, for example, this is carbon number 1, this is carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4. So we can be able to make one straight chain from this carbon. We can just say this is one chain of carbons that are consecutive or that are bonded to one another. But now you can see that, guys, these are not only the carbons that we have got another carbon that is actually going to the side, that is not part of this line, or that is not found in this chain of the carbons. All right, and you guys can clearly see the carbon here, right? Yes. So this carbon here, we consider it a what? We consider it a side chain. It is because it is not part of the main chain that we have. So basically, if we're having a line of carbons that are following each other, we say that's a chain. Basically, it's a carbon chain. Okay, later on when you get to university, you start calling it a carbon skeleton. But for example, for now, let's just call it a carbon chain. So if you draw the carbon chain in this way, if there is any other carbon, if there is any other carbon atom, specifically a carbon atom, guys, that is actually not part of the main chain, it is known as a side chain. So basically, this straight chain, we are going to say that is our what? That is going to be known as the main chain. So we can say it's known as the main chain, or we can say it is known as the parent chain. So it is known as the parent chain. Okay, so for us to even call it a parent chain, what needs to happen? So basically, what does the parent chain suggest? Because that is part of the things that I said you guys must research. And Orifa told us that for us to say it's a parent chain, it must have the highest number of carbon atoms in it. So it must have the highest number of carbon atoms in it. Okay, so here if we look, guys, this chain that I have this chain that I've highlighted in red, which is the main chain, how many carbons does it consist of? How many carbons are in this demarcated place with red? Yes, Sam?
4, sir.
We have got 4 carbons. We can count them. It's 1, carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, and carbon number 4. All right. But when you look at this other carbon that is going to the side, or this other carbon highlighted in green that is not part of this this chain of carbons, this side chain, it is only 1 carbon. So this 1 carbon, we just consider it a side chain. It's not really the main chain because it has got less number of carbons. So basically, when we are talking about the parent chain, there must be something unique about it. Okay, so this is what the parent chain must consist of. So how do you identify the parent chain when you are given a particular organic molecule? The parent chain must definitely have what? It must definitely have the most number of carbons, so the highest number of carbons. So the parent chain must have the highest carbon atoms. The number of carbon atoms must be the highest. Okay, for example here guys, when we compared in this second compound, this this branched second compound, the main chain, it had 4 carbons. This straight carbon chain, it had 4 carbons. But when you look at this side chain, there's only 1 carbon that is going to the side. So basically we say that the parent chain, we identify it by it having the highest number of carbon atoms. And the other things that the parent chain must consist of, it must also have the functional group. So the parent chain must consist of a carbon with the functional group. So the parent chain must consist of a carbon with the functional group. So you guys now know the functional groups of different types of organic compounds and homologous series. So guys, identify compound number 2. Is it to what homologous series does it belong? Compound number 2. Yes, Nobu. Yes, Nobu.
So it's an alkane.
Yes, it's an alkane because we are seeing single bonds between the carbon atoms. So for alkanes, it is way simpler because the functional group for alkanes is everywhere. Everywhere where you see single bonds between carbon atoms, as long as there are only single bonds between the carbon atoms and this is a hydrocarbon, then we can say that this is a what? This is an alkane. All right, so let me just make an example here using another different homologous series and say that now I'm going to have carbon, 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 carbon. Okay, and then I have a double bond oxygen there. Okay. All right, so I'm sure that you guys can see this compound properly. Okay, so this compound, guys, to what homologous series does it belong? Compound number 3 that I've just drawn out. Yes, Nobu?
So it's a ketone.
Yes, it's a ketone, guys. We identified by seeing this carbon double bond oxygen, and this carbon that is got a double bond with an oxygen, it is bonded to 2 other carbons on its side. So basically this is a what? This is a ketone. And now I want you guys to identify, is this ketone a straight chain? Is it having a straight chain or a straight carbon chain, or is it actually branched? Is it unbranched or is it a branched ketone? Yes, Nobu? You guys raise your hands so fast. Yeah. Is that what?
Unbranched.
Okay. It's an unbranched because we're only having what? We're only having a series. We're only having 1 chain of carbons that are following each other. So we say that this is an unbranched ketone. So I'm going to say this is my what? This is my unbranched ketone. So it consists of only 1 chain, and this is a straight chain. This is our parent chain because it's only 1 here. All right, we don't have any side chains, so this is an unbranched ketone. So as I've said that the parent chain, guys, it must have the highest number of carbon atoms. For example, this ketone is having 1, 2, 3, 4. So this chain, it is having 4 carbon atoms, and there is no other side chain. Okay, so it is the parent chain, and it must also consist of the carbon that has got the functional group. Okay, for example here you guys can see that this carbon here, let me just highlight it, this carbon here that has got the double bond oxygen. I'm sure this is the carbon with the functional group. Do you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so basically that carbon must be part of the parent chain no matter what. Okay, so let me just make it a bit of a branched compound. Let me just take a last example and make it a branched compound. Let's have carbon, let's have carbon, let's have carbon, and have carbon again. All right, and just say that here we have got a double bond oxygen here, then we have got a hydrogen atom there, and then here we have got another hydrogen atom, then here we have got a carbon bonded to a hydrogen and bonded to a hydrogen and bonded to a hydrogen. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can see properly here that this is definitely going to be a branched organic compound. Can you guys see that this is a branched organic compound?
Yes.
Okay, so if we want to look at the straight chain, for example, we always start with a straight chain of carbons that are following each other. This is a straight chain of carbons that are following each other. If we count the number of carbons in this chain, we are having 4 carbons in this chain. So there are 4 carbons in this chain, but we can see that we've got a carbon that is going to the side, or a carbon that is actually not part of this straight chain. Okay, so this is the carbon that we'll call is a side chain, because it's only one carbon. It's a side chain. All right, so basically at this point you guys realize that this one with 4 carbons is going to be our parent chain, because it is having the highest number of carbon atoms. That's number 1. It is having 4 carbons, right? So it is having the highest number of carbon atoms, and also it is also consisting of the carbon with the functional group. For example, guys, this compound number 4, to what homologous series does it belong? Let's see now to what homologous series does this belong? Raise your hands, guys. There are people who raised hands and they didn't pick them last time. To what? Yes, Yonela?
Aldehyde, sir.
Aldehyde. So this is an aldehyde, and this is an unbranched. It is a branched aldehyde. You can see that there is a branch or there is a side chain. So we can say this is a branched aldehyde. So this is an aldehyde, but it is branched. Do you guys notice that here the carbon that has got do you guys realize that the carbon that has got the functional group, which is this carbon that has got the double bond and it is also bonded to hydrogen, it is also part of the parent chain? Okay, so basically the parent chain, it must consist of those two things. It's either it must have the highest number of carbon atoms, and at the same time it must have a carbon that has got the functional group. Yes, Nogo?
Yes, I wanted to say, you see the number 4 on the OH. You see the side chain. It can also be part of the parent chain. I wanted to say that.
Yes, exactly. This is the point which I was going to. So basically, as Nogo is mentioning here, this side chain, it can also become part of the parent chain. How can we actually say that? So I've created enough space for us to be able to illustrate each and every part of that. Okay, so let me just say I've got now an unbranched organic compound that is unbranched, and then let's say 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and then now let me say we've got 1 2 3, right? 1 2 3 4. Okay, and then now let me just put some hydrogens on each and every carbon so that we can have at least 4 bonds around each and every carbon. Okay, all right, here we have got hydrogens and hydrogens. Make sure that there are 4 bonds, guys, between these okay, and let's have hydrogen here, let's have double bond oxygen here, let's have hydrogen, let's have hydrogen, let's have hydrogen, and another hydrogen and another hydrogen here. So this is an organic compound now. Okay, so guys, I want to clear this confusion now. The straight chain, it is not always the parent chain, because you guys might assume that since we always highlight the straight chain, you guys would always say that this is obviously the parent chain. Other people will just say that this is obviously the parent chain, but no, it is not really like that, because remember, guys, we say that for it to qualify as a parent chain, what must happen to it? It must be what? It must have the highest number of carbon atoms, so it must have more carbons in it than any other chain that you can make in that organic compound. And secondly, it must consist of a carbon that has got the functional group. There is no way where it says that it must be a straight chain. Okay, so having a straight chain doesn't always imply that it's a parent chain. For us to be able to identify that we're having a parent chain, it must have the highest number of carbon atoms, it must have more carbons in it, more carbon atoms in it, and it must also have a carbon that has got a functional group. Okay, so now the thing is here, when we look at our straight chain, for example, I will highlight my straight chain in red. So this is the straight chain because it's just straight, like literally straight. That's what I mean by straight chain. If you count the number of carbons in this chain, how many carbons are in this chain, guys? Yes, Mahlodi.
5, sir.
We're having 5, right? So basically this straight chain is not the main chain yet, it is the straight chain. The straight chain, it is consisting of 5 carbon atoms. But guys, is this the highest number of carbon atoms that we can get here? As in, like, is this the only chain that has got the highest number of carbons in this compound? Yes,
No, sir.
no. Okay, now I want to hear from Mahlodi now. Mahlodi, which other chain can have more carbons than the straight chain having 5 carbons? Which other chain do you think that it can have more carbons?
Second chain, when we count from left, we count from downwards going upward, then we tend to right.
Yes, guys, so you are allowed to count from downwards to upwards, then you tend to right. So instead of focusing on this straight chain, I can count from this carbon here that is at the bottom. And if I count from this carbon that is here at the bottom, this is going to be this chain. Let me just highlight it using blue color. So it is just going to be something like this. I don't know if it is going to be a mess if I include this other one that is red. But okay, you guys can say, okay, let me just erase the straight chain, because you guys now saw this straight chain that it has got 5 carbons. But if I highlight this other chain, guys, from bottom to top, then I turn to the right, this chain that I've highlighted in blue, it has got more carbons than the straight chain that we had counted at first. Okay, because the straight chain that we counted at first gave us 5 carbons. Okay, so our straight chain, it gave us what? It gave us 5 carbon atoms. But now we counted a chain that is not really straight, that is kind of bending a bit. How many carbons does it have in it? Yes, Sam?
7, sir.
It is having 7 carbons, guys. When you count the number of carbons found in these chains, like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So basically, you see that this chain that I've highlighted in blue, it seems to have more carbons compared to just the straight chain. Okay, so we can just say that this blue chain that I've highlighted, it consists of 7 carbons. And when you compare, guys, the one that has got more carbons, it has to be the parent chain, because I've already told you the criteria that we use for us to refer to it as a parent chain. It must have the highest number of carbon atoms, and it must also consist of a carbon that has got the functional group. And if we look at this, guys, if I can ask, what homologous series is this compound? Yes, Nogu?
So it's a ketone.
Yes, it's a ketone, guys. We can see that carbon double bond oxygen here at this point. And you can see, guys, that it is part of this chain that we've highlighted. Actually, it is part of this blue chain having more carbons that we've highlighted. So we can say that now this blue chain, it is our parent chain. So we can now declare it and say that the blue chain here, it is our what? It is our parent chain. Why is it a parent chain? Because it has got more carbons. It has got the highest number of carbon atoms, number 1. And number 2, it has got what? It has got the carbon that has got the functional group, because the carbon having the functional group, you guys can all see it, is this carbon having the double bond for ketones. So now we can say that this is our parent chain. So now what about this, guys? Because when you highlight this this blue carbon chain, this chain that I've highlighted, this parent chain that we've highlighted, now my question to you guys, what about this carbon, guys, that is this carbon that is left behind, that I'm pointing with green? There's a carbon that is left behind there. What do you say about it? What is it? Like, it's not part of this blue highlighted area or this blue highlighted chain. Yes, Dakato?
It's a substituent, sir.
It's a side chain. For now, let's call it a side chain. Before we call it a substituent, let's just call it a side chain. So that is going to be our what? That is going to be our side chain. So as long as it has got a carbon, guys, we're not looking at other atoms here. We're looking at a carbon that is not part of the main chain, or that is not part of a parent chain. We say it's known as a what? as a side chain. A side chain consisting of one carbon. Yes, Nobu?
Yes, I wanted to ask, can we also call it a parasite? Or are you doing this example calling it a side chain?
Okay, can you also call it what?
A parasite.
A parasite. Did I hear you correctly? Well, those are informal terms, okay? Those are informal terms, okay? They just use them to describe what it is doing per se. But for now, let's just call it a side chain. At some point, we'll call it a substituent, but now we'll just call it a side chain. Or yes, Orifa? Okay, looks like Orifa lowered her hand. So basically, that's how you identify this. Yes.
So I was still trying to unmute myself.
You were still?
So I wanted to ask, so is a substituent the same thing as an alkyl group? Is it like the same, like is it another name for alkyl?
Actually, a substituent, an alkyl group is actually a substituent. There are different types of substituents, okay? So we have got an alkyl substituent. We also have got a halogen substituent. So as we are doing the naming, we'll definitely get to that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah, guys, when I say we're not talking about chains here, we're talking about something that has got a carbon atom, okay? So if it doesn't have a carbon atom, we don't call it a chain because we are referring to carbon chains here. Okay. So do you guys now understand the parent chain and the side chain? How do you identify one?
So,
Okay, so guys, please never make this mistake. The straight chain, it is not always the parent chain. So the straight chain, it is not always the parent chain, because remember, for it to be a parent chain, it doesn't really need to be straight. It can even bend and stuff like that. But for it to be a parent chain, it must have more carbons in it. It must have the highest number of carbon atoms, and also it must consist of a carbon that has got a functional group. All right, so here's an exercise so that you can see if we can apply this. Identify whether each of the following organic compounds is branched or unbranched, and then state the number of carbon atoms in the parent chain. Let's do this as a quick exercise, guys. You guys can see that. Let's go to A. This question A. Please tell me first the homologous series to which a compound A belongs. Quick, guys. Raise your hands quick so that you can just because we've already spent a lot of time in this introduction. Yes, no?
Alcohol.
This is an alcohol.
alcohol.
Yes, it's an alcohol because you can see that there's an OH group there. Okay, so it's an alcohol. Now, is it a branched or is it an unbranched alcohol? Yes, Orifa?
So the unbranched.
Yes, it is an unbranched because we got only one chain of carbons and it's a straight chain. We only have got one straight chain. Okay, that's an unbranched, so we don't have any side chains here. And then my question will be, how many carbons are we having in the parent chain? Yes, Mahlodi?
4 carbon.
4 carbons. Okay, let's just be quick in that way then. Let's go to compound B. Look at it very carefully. Compound B. Let's start. To what homologous series does compound B belong? Yes, Mahlodi?
Haloalkane.
Haloalkanes, because we can see that there's a Br there, which is a halogen, so it's a haloalkane. Is it a branched haloalkane or it's an unbranched haloalkane?
But it's branched.
It is branched. Cool. And then now my question is, how many carbons are found in the main carbon chain, in the parent chain? Let's hear from Nogu.
7, sir.
7. Okay, guys, can you guys confirm that? Are there 7 really?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it looks like, yeah, it looks like this is the straight chain can be the main chain. Yeah, in this way, it looks like the straight chain is the main chain because it is having 7 carbons, the highest number of carbons, and it is also having the carbon that has got the functional group. Remember, the functional group is the Br here. So it must have the carbon having the functional group, and it must also have the highest number of carbon atoms in total. So it is having 7 carbons. Let's go to C. For C, can you just identify C without drawing the structural formula, without writing the structural formula? Yes, no, yes, no.
So it's an alkane.
Okay, it's an alkane. So definitely it's an alkane, guys. But you guys should normalize using structural formulae. So you just draw the structural formula first so that you can say it properly. So this is CH3. Then this is CH. This bracket CH3 is a side chain. That's how we represent a side chain in a condensed formula. So when you've got a carbon bonded to 3 hydrogen and it is in bracket, that is what it means. It's a side chain. It's like a C that is having 3 hydrogens and it's a side chain. Though my diagram is now clumsy. And then this is now CH2, carbon with 2 hydrogens. Then this is C with 3 hydrogens. Cool. Okay. So is it branched or is it an unbranched compound? Yes, Orifa?
It's branched.
It is branched. And then what is the number, the highest number? What is the number of carbons in the parent chain? Yes, Orifa?
The 4.
4 carbons. Okay. So guys, in this way you can see that your parent chain, you can model it the way you want. You can either take this as the straight chain, this straight chain as the parent chain. It has got 4 carbons, or you can just draw it in this way. You can just draw it into it this way from here to here. This is still 4 carbons, so it serves the same way. It's going to have the same name later on. So it's a branched, but it has got 4 carbons. All right. And then let's go to D. I want you guys to tell me about D. What is the homologous series to which this compound belongs? Yes, Nogo?
Alcohol.
It's an really? Is it an alcohol? D.
No, it's
We'll
not.
say it's an aldehyde.
It's an aldehyde, yes. So it's an aldehyde. Is it branched? Is it a branched aldehyde or it's an unbranched aldehyde?
Sir,
Yes. Yes, Mahluli.
can I ask what is the functional group of aldehydes?
It is known as the formyl group. It's a carbon double bond oxygen, but this carbon that has got a double bond oxygen, it must be bonded to a hydrogen next to it. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a branched aldehyde. And then quick guys, our 10 minutes break is about to begin. How many carbons are in the parent chain here?
4.
We're having 4 carbons, right, in the parent chain. And then E, how many, is it branched or unbranched? Quick, just say it. You don't have to raise your hand. It is an unbranched, right? And then it's an aldehyde. You can also say that. Is it how many carbons are found in the parent chain? Because we only have got 1 parent chain here, which is the straight chain. How many carbons can you see?
So which one?
E, compound E.
So 4.
Yes, we're having 4 carbons in the parent chain. Let's go to F, guys. Which homologous series is F? Before drawing it, what do you think the homologous series is going to be there? Without drawing compound F. It's going to be a carboxylic acid, yes. Or some that's going to be a carboxylic acid. How did you recognize, Lihotle? Tell them, how do you recognize that this is a carboxylic acid just from the condensed formula without drawing? How did you see that?
COOH.
Yes.
The functional group COOH.
Yes, the functional group in a condensed formula, the functional group of carboxylic acid is COOH. I remember, guys, when I introduced the carboxylic acids to you, I mentioned that carboxylic acid have a functional group known as the carboxyl group, and in the brackets I wrote COOH. Do you still guys remember here? COOH. Can you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if you see this in a molecular in a condensed formula, njalo, whenever you see COOH in a condensed formula, definitely that must be a carboxylic acid. So even before you draw the structural formula, you can already identify that this is a carboxylic acid. But you can then draw the structural formula. You can just write the structural formula. It says CH3, right? So it means that we have got one carbon that is having 3 hydrogens. Okay, one carbon that is having 3 hydrogens. Then this carbon that is having 3 hydrogens, it is bonded to another carbon. So this is bonded to another carbon C. And this carbon C, it is bonded to 2 oxygens. Do you guys see the 2 oxygens there? It is bonded to 2 oxygens. So this carbon must have 2 oxygens, but we already know, guys, that when we are having, there are only 2 compounds that can have 2 oxygens. It's either is a carboxylic acid or it's esters. So for grade 12, you only know of 2 compounds that can have 2 oxygens. Okay, so one of the oxygens, it takes a double bond. Another one, it must take a single bond. Then this oxygen is bonded to a hydrogen. That's more like the hydroxyl group part. So do you guys see that this is a carboxylic acid? So now, is this a branched carboxylic acid or it's an unbranched carboxylic acid? Yeah. Yes, my lord.
Unbranched.
Yes, it is unbranched because we only see one chain. We only see the straight chain. If the straight chain is the only chain present, that's an unbranched. And then the number of carbons in the longest chain. Yes, my lord.
2 carbon.
2 carbons. So why did I even give you this exercise, guys? Because it's very significant. When we are starting with the naming, I don't want you guys to struggle, okay? Don't want you guys to struggle. But now, let us now go to the naming part, the real naming part of organic molecules, right? All right. So when we are naming organic molecules or organic compounds, we name them using the IUPAC standard.